I didn't get it all the way. It's Stallone. What's going on, man? I feel like I
Chilling,
ain't
bro.
seen you in a month of Sundays. The
Yeah,
holidays Sunday.
man. Hey, you've had a lot going on. I've been exactly where I've been at for the last 3.5 years or whatever. But now everything is good, man. A few things, I guess. It's funny as I was thinking about, earlier, just out doing errands, thinking about today's show. I'm like, damn, it's kind of like a slow time in sports. But with us having those few weeks off, there's a few things that we can cover. Plus, I guess it's really not too slow of a time in sports. I get, the Olympics is going on right now. For those who care.
The Olympics definitely started on Friday. A little controversy before the opening ceremony. The director of the opening ceremony was fired the day before the ceremony because of some lewd comments he made back in the day.
Yeah.
That's why you got to watch what you say on social media,
for sure,
because they will pull any and everything. And if you've already said something, it's too late. If you get a job and you said something crazy back in the day, count your days, bro. Well, because it's over with as soon as they track down those videos. So he made some kind of lewd remarks about the Holocaust, trying to be funny, and he just cost himself a job. And he was apologetic and said, you got to choose your words more wisely. You know what I'm saying? But when he was doing it back then, he didn't think he was wrong.
Right.
He was on the show. His
comments
or something.
Were still kind of out of line. I think he was like a comic or something like that. But it's
a comedians get in trouble all the time, man. I've tried to, you got to kind of steer yourself, you never know. And being a person that writes jokes for TV every day, I have had my hand smacked a few times. Like, no, we're not gonna do that one.
I bet. And that one in this case, that's a pretty big one, man. I would probably stay away from that if I was a comic, but it is what it is. But we'll talk about the Olympics. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, we'll talk about the Olympics in a minute. Let's get to this main thing that just happened in Cleveland.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest news of Cleveland sports in a long time is an actual name change. I didn't know if I would see that in my lifetime as a Cleveland sports fan, but the Cleveland Indians are no more. You can't, I guess you can say it, but are there any restrictions of wearing the Cleveland Indians gear into the stadium or anything like that? Did they say anything about that?
Man, people, they still selling Chief Wahoo at Lids.
Yeah, I know.
So I'm just saying, they're not really going to start using the new name until 2022.
Which is the Cleveland Guardians, by the way. I know I didn't say
the Cleveland Guardians.
Right.
Is the new name of the old Cleveland Indians, because for a long time, people were, the same thing that happened to the Washington Redskins, who are now the Washington football team. This is now the Indians.
We handled this a lot better than they did. Okay. They're crying in the corner, kicking their feet right now as the Washington football team. That's exactly what they're doing. At least we made a decision, and my opinion, I don't know. You say what you think about the name. My opinion is it didn't matter what the team name was going to be. Nobody was going to like it. It's a nickname. It's a team nickname. There's no cool ones. I mean, if you said right now, the Chicago Bulls won 6 championships in 8 years, and if they were named a different team and they wanted to switch to the Chicago Bulls, everybody would be like, what do you mean the Chicago Bulls? But right now, as it is, they're associated with one of the most dominant franchises in sports history. So I don't think it really matters too much about the initial backlash. I don't mind it. I don't mind how they came to that conclusion, even though I didn't know what those statues were 3 or 4 days ago or whenever it was they made the decision. But I don't know. What do you think?
Imagine if this was the Browns. I just look at it from that perspective. Like, you can say that because you're not a diehard Cleveland baseball fan. You're not a diehard Indians fan who really, really rocks with the team that way. There are people who probably are a little bit upset that they're making this name change and they're not with it. And I mean, if you look at Guardians, it's Indians, so they took off the IN and put a GUAR in the front, and it's kind of the script or the font looks similar, but
which I think I don't hate that it still has Indians in the name. I don't, because the name is not Indians, it's Guardians. I know that they did that probably on purpose, whatever. I don't hate that. But, bro, we can't sit up here and act like the word Indians is not offensive, okay? We can't do that. And it's not on us, the non-Native Americans, to decide whether or not they should or shouldn't be offended by the word Indians.
It's not up to them?
It's not up to who? No, it's
It's
up
not
to
up to
them. It's not up to us
Yeah.
to determine whether or not they should be offended.
Did
If they say they're
Were
offended,
they?
listen, I've heard some of them absolutely say that they were offended. They've been protesting this for how many years? Chief Wahoo is certainly offensive, but
That's
if you
now the caricature of Chief Wahoo,
extremely
certainly.
okay, but are we?
I didn't hear. I never heard a whole lot about
Oh, wow.
whether
You
or
must
not.
have, you asked every one of
I'm
them.
saying I know, like the Redskins. That sounds racial.
Okay, but okay,
Because like if somebody said they're the Blackskins, we
yes, of
be
course.
up in arms about that. So
Well, the root of the
there were
word.
movies back in the day that had cowboys and Indians. Yeah, the root of the words. I get it.
The root of
I'm just playing devil's advocate. I don't care
understand
that they changed the name. If they are offended by the name, then yes, of course, change it. I'm not married to the name of Indians. It didn't strike a chord with me. I just don't know what I'm gonna do with all these Indians hats and
you're gonna wear them just like everybody else. Nobody's gonna throw their stuff away.
I mean, now I gotta get a whole new collection of Cleveland Guardian hats. What's the logo? Can I see the logo?
You'll manage.
Can I see the logo?
While they bring their logo up, I will say, I mean, if you go all the way back to look, I went to Cleveland Heights High School. Shout out to them Tigers. I did not do very well there, and I do remember one thing though that Christopher.
What you mean you didn't do well there?
I didn't do very well there. I did okay, but but Christopher Columbus thought he was in Asia, which is why he referred to the first people that he saw as Indians. He wasn't in India, so the name, the word, is inherently offensive.
Yeah,
and racist if you want to go that far. And I don't think any of us all of those Native Americans who have been, protesting this name for X amount of years, they were doing it for a reason. If they're offended, we should change the name. So that's how I feel about that. But
what's up, Dustin?
So he can only do the vid. It's all good.
Dustin from the Here We Go Brownies podcast out Boise, Idaho, has joined us today. What's up, my peoples? Yeah, now we gotta, we're gonna be talking Browns in just a second, Dustin. Hang on,
just a few minutes, just a few minutes.
So since we're not necessarily able to pull up the logo, but if you've seen it, it's a baseball with a G on both. What it's looking like, the G is on both sides of the baseball, and the G has wings. Now, what do you think about the logo?
I think that's, I've been hearing that they're paying homage to some art thing, I don't.
The Guardians are the two statues that the pillars that are at the entrance of the Lorraine Carnegie Bridge, and they hold vehicles in their hand, and they say that they are the guardians of the highway, they're guardians of traffic, and it goes right into Progressive Field. So this is the theme that they're going for. So you already have the two big guardians standing there right at Progressive Field. So this is what they're talking about, but they're not on the logo. The logo is a G. Right, with a baseball and wings. You didn't tell me what you thought about that.
I don't love it. Actually, my initial reaction to the logo was this looks kind of trash, to be honest. I don't really, I didn't get it. You know what I'm saying? But I've heard
just watching other people talk about it.
Yeah, I've heard, watch the national sports shows or whatever, and they say it's paying homage to some. I know what you're saying about the statues, but the particular way that the illustration of the logo is like some kind of artsy thing. So maybe it's going over my head, but I don't love the way that it looks, if I'm going to be completely honest.
If you look at the G, and since the G is
Jamal, I'm sending you this video right now with a logo.
And the G is supposed to be both sides. Oh, Dustin and them are coming back to Cleveland August 8th. Okay. Yeah, that's what's up, man. They bring a lot of Cleveland fans out. We're going to get to that. But if you look at the G, is supposed to be on both sides of the ball. And if you look at the way the G is, it looks like it's doing one of those split finger fast pitch.
You getting advanced with it? I don't know.
Because it looks like the G, because the G kind of is. Let me put my other hand up. The G kind of on both sides. So if say they say this is a G, and it's on both sides.
I'm looking at it right now.
It's looking like a split finger fastball pitch is about to be thrown.
Okay,
you see that?
How do you correlate that to the logo though?
It's a baseball thing. So that's how you correlate it.
We might not be the best ones to talk about this baseball news with our
baseball baseball. I got a little bit of knowledge. I can talk about it. My son played a couple seasons. You know what I'm saying?
I got you.
All right, we'll move on then.
And also let us know in the comments. You like the logo, you hate the logo. We'll shout out a couple of them. But thank you for everybody that's watching, and definitely leave us your comments. We forgot to mention that at the top of this thing, but go ahead, that's my bad.
Dustin doesn't like it. Okay, we moving on. So we had an NBA Finals happen, and it's over with, and the Milwaukee Bucks are now champions for the first time in 50 years.
Yeah,
the Milwaukee Bucks. I guess we should give them a little cheer, a little round of applause.
Yeah, sure.
Round of applause.
Shout out to Giannis. Giannis, the first player. Dang, I forgot the stat. Never mind. I had a good one, man.
Come on, man.
It's something about All-Star Game MVP and Finals MVP in the same year. But he also has, league MVPs, Defensive Player of the Years. The kid is what, 25, 26, something like that. He's not too old. Is this Giannis's league right now, or is this just a result of the most injured superstar season we've ever seen in any sport?
You kind of stole my thunder now.
Sorry,
Giannis,
my bad.
After the game, said he didn't want to leave and join a super team. He's been with Milwaukee for 8 years. He and Middleton have been there together for 8 years, and he signed a supermax deal. He got like what, 200 mils, something crazy like that, and stayed in Milwaukee, and they won. And I think the main reason they won is because the super teams were hurt.
Right.
When the super team, the Brooklyn Nets, was injured and they couldn't.
They don't get past that.
They weren't going to beat the Brooklyn Nets. Come on, who's
not with all three of their superstars there? I get that.
At all.
But here's a question too, and I feel like Milwaukee's going to kind of get that. They're not going to get that right treatment for this ring just because of what you just said. With all of the injuries and things of that nature.
Well, there was an asterisk in the bubble. Now this is the injured year. This is post-COVID sort of injuries. But I mean, congratulations to them though. They were the last team standing and they won. Yeah. And because they won, that meant that 16-year veteran Chris Paul had to lose. And it was his first trip to the finals. He still has no hardware in his trophy case. Is he going to be a Charles Barkley? I mean, is he going to end his career? Because he's up there. He's 16-year veteran.
36. He said he's not retiring. He's coming back.
They're not
trying to link him. They say.
I bet you he was on a super team.
Well, they're saying that he has interest in perhaps going to the Lakers along with a few other players.
Oh boy.
But I would be.
Going to Space Jam in them?
Listen, I wouldn't hate him going to the Lakers just because he's at the tail end of his career, definitely on the last half of his back nine for sure. And you can see that as that series kind of progressed the final series. I know they're saying he was hurt, but he didn't say he was hurt.
Well, that was a huge collapse on their part. They won the first 2 games and then got swept basically because
Chris Paul, only NBA player to drop 4 separate series when he had a 2-0 series lead. Only player in the league to have that happen, which is a little bit unfair because it's kind of hard to make. Chris Paul's not their most dynamic player, right? Their most dynamic player is Devin Booker, and he is a little bit of a younger player. I'm just saying, like, it's a little bit unfair to put the whole collapse on Chris Paul's shoulders. Is all I'm saying.
Who put it on Chris Paul's shoulders?
Oh, I didn't. They pooping on Chris Paul right now.
Man, leave Chris Paul alone. I mean, I was rooting for Chris Paul. I would have liked to see him win one. He finally got to the finals. He had all the path was cleared. All of the super teams were out of the way, so they were able to emerge out of the West. And Giannis and them, they're a good team, but they're not a great team.
I don't know, man.
It's just Giannis playing. Man, come on, man. You got Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Well,
taking 2 steps from the 3-point line and dunking on people.
The reason that I say I think they are a great team is because they've led the Eastern Conference and they've been in first in the Eastern Conference. I know they weren't this year, but a couple of years out of the last several.
But they don't never make the finals. What's being first?
But you got to pay your dues, man. You got to pay your dues.
So how come they can only make the finals once Brooklyn was hurt and was out of the way? Once Philly wasn't right.
Nah, Philly was right. I mean, their superstar was hurt, but he played. Ben Simmons choked. That's why they lost. That's why Philly lost that series. But I agree with you. If Brooklyn was whole, which that's a separate conversation if they'll ever be whole in the playoffs. Right. Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, notoriously injury prone. But, if Brooklyn was whole, I don't see Milwaukee winning that series. But with that being said, we watched Chris Middleton grow up in these NBA playoffs. We've watched him turn into a true two-way player. Jrue Holiday never even really had it cooking offensively during the playoffs. A couple good games here and there, but he showed up as a A1 defender, and you can say he's the reason why they won that series in terms of shutting down either Chris Paul or Devin Booker whenever he was tasked to do that. The big steal late in Game 5. I mean, they have a very good team, and they have they've been together for a while, so they got a lot of camaraderie.
They got the new age Wilt Chamberlain on their team, man. Like,
yeah.
Wilt Chamberlain, dunk, layup, dunk, layup.
I mean, they got him though. You can't be mad that they got him. I don't know if Brooklyn is whole, they beat anybody in the series. Okay. I don't know if Brooklyn will be whole in the playoffs and be good enough to beat Milwaukee due to their own injury history. So that's all that I'm saying. I think Milwaukee might be able to at least go defend that thing next year.
We shall see. But congratulations to the Milwaukee Bucks. Enjoy that. Antetokounmpo took the trophies. He's the MVP. He took the trophies on the joyride with Chick-fil-A and ordered up 50 Chick-fil-A
50 of them boys.
50 of them boys, 50 points, 50 years.
Shout out to SP. Giannis, before we move on from the Bucks, first player in some time to win Defensive Player of the Year, MVP, and All-Star MVP.
Man.
So he had an excellent season.
You know, when you 7 foot whatever and you can
it's other 7-footers in the league. Come on,
but
man.
they're not this is I'm talking about him being as athletic at the size that he is. Because if you can move like a smaller person and you're that big, nobody should be able to stop you.
So is he the best player?
It's almost like cheating, huh?
If everybody's healthy, is he the best player in the league? He's a 7-footer, all that, everything you just said.
No, he's been in the league for 8 years, and that didn't elevate him until everybody was hurt. So no,
he's got MVPs player when everybody was healthy, man. I'm just saying, Giannis. I think
of course he got MVP.
I'm not accusing you of this, but I think his accent, you know what I'm saying, his not being born state,
it has nothing to do with that.
To do with some people's.
It has something to do with why the USA is getting beat. That's what it has to do with.
Yeah, let's talk about them. Big loss for Team USA today.
Yes,
against France.
France,
of all
the
teams.
Frenchmen. So is Rudy Gobert the best player in the NBA?
Bruh,
because Rudy Gobert then led France to the victory over the USA.
Yeah, and
who's the other guy from France that plays in the NBA?
Fournier.
And there was another one.
I don't know. I don't watch
3 of them over there.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised, man. The NBA is becoming more of an international league, man. We getting a lot of contributions from other countries right now.
Caught up to us all over the world. We are no longer the leaders of basketball. This is evident right now because they can't handle none of them. They didn't got beat by Nigeria. They didn't got beat by France. What is wrong with Dame Dollar?
Ugly.
Dame Dollar falling down. That game was really over, but that fall down, that's just kind of a telltale sign of what's going on. And they should be embarrassed, man. You know don't be the first.
No, go ahead.
No, what was you about to say?
I was going to say, in a little bit of the show prep that I do have written down, I was going to say what they don't have is Kobe Bryant. Do you know Kobe Bryant's international record across all international games?
No.
Kobe went 36-0 for Team USA, including 16-0 in the Olympics, 10-0 in the FIBA Americas, whatever that is, and then 10-0 in exhibition games, of which Team USA lost 2 of just a couple of weeks ago. So they need some dogs on that team, man. They got Kevin Durant. I don't know what's going. They got Popovich. Like, what's the problem? I haven't watched any of these games either.
I don't know if you heard, but Kobe is in heaven, so he is not going to be able to help them.
Yes,
I know what I'm saying. But now that's amazing. Hold on. Kudos to Matt for pulling up a stat. That was awesome.
1738. He's doing our homework.
Awesome. But yes, they lost to France. So what does this mean? What does this mean for Team USA's hopes to win a medal in this year's Olympics?
They are not eliminated from gold, but from what I understand, they're close to being eliminated from gold. I think another L may do it. I don't really know, all of the ins and outs of it, but they put themselves in a position to basically, I think, have to win out.
This is crazy.
And probably hope for
It's
another
not
team
gonna
not to
happen.
go undefeated.
They're gonna get
So-
eliminated. But speaking of the Olympics, I mean, there are some USA competitors doing well because last I checked, the USA was number 2 with medals with 10 behind China's
there you
11, unless something else happened since I checked that.
Right.
But the USA had 10 medals, 4 of them gold, 2 of them silver, and 4 of them bronze. And shout out to the swimmer guy who won the I had his name and I didn't. Now I don't know it, but I just want to shout him out.
Shout out Team USA swimmer guy.
He's from Bel Air, Maryland. The one that won gold. He's from Bel Air, Maryland. Same place as the GM for the Cleveland Browns, Andrew Berry. Bel Air, Maryland, doing it big. I gotta shout him out.
You gonna shout you out some DMV?
That's right.
So
that's my other home, Harford County, Maryland. That's Harford County, Maryland. Bel Air, Aberdeen, Edgewood, all that's in Harford County. So shout out to Harford County doing big things.
For
and
sure.
putting the person in. Somebody went to the NBA from Harford County recently, I think. Yeah. So shout them out.
Shout you guys out, man. Shout you guys out. Where we at? Is that the extent of your Olympic coverage, sir?
My Olympic coverage.
I have nothing for the Olympics, bro. This is the most uninterested I've been in the Olympics.
You don't even want to see what Simone Biles is gonna do?
I mean, I'm sure she's gonna gold out and go crazy. She's like, they're calling her the most the best Olympic athlete of all time, is what they're saying about Simone Biles. So shout out to her.
It wasn't compelling to you that Naomi Osaka was lit the flame.
I saw
lit the Olympic flame.
Yeah, but
and she's doing her thing out there after the controversy of her pulling out of what was it, Wimbledon or something like that.
I think she pulled out of the last 2 majors.
Well, I'm just saying. I mean, and this is in her home country.
I will say this. I was a little disappointed that Coco Gauff caught COVID. I'm not sure if you follow her. She's a female tennis player. The little Tina, I think she's like 15, 16 years old. Who's been balling, burst on the scene, I think a couple of seasons or a couple of years ago. But dude, Coco Gauff, man, pay attention.
Coco Gauff.
She's nice.
That's her last name is Gauff?
Gauff, yeah.
No,
she's nice, bro.
Her last name is Gauff.
Man, I think so. Now you're making me question it. I'm pretty sure
she plays. She's a golfer.
Tennis.
Oh,
tennis.
I thought you said she was playing golf. I thought you said, I don't know. I thought you said she played golf. No, I think I've seen her before playing.
Yeah, you're gonna be seeing a lot more of her.
I've seen her before, but no,
but she's not even that, so we can move on.
Whatever happened? What's up with the Olympic boxing? We don't remember that used to be a big thing. Like we used to have great boxers go to the Olympics and we'd follow them and see what happened with them. I remember when Floyd Mayweather was in the Olympics. Like what that used to be a big thing. Why don't we hear about the Olympic boxers anymore?
I think because the Paul brothers took over boxing in the world. They're about to just get everybody out of here and collect all the bags.
Cleveland.
Shout out to them.
Speaking of homies doing big, LeBron James dropped Space Jam. It was number 1 in the box office.
Yeah, I saw you put that on the show list today.
Yeah,
I don't watch movies, man.
Well, listen, man, I just want to shout him out for making Space Jam because my 7-year-old now is into basketball.
Oh wow,
of Space Jam, and he has watched that movie about 5-6 times already.
Wow,
he loves that movie.
What do you think about it? I didn't see it. What do you think about it?
Because
I got to be honest, I didn't like the first one, so I wasn't hyped for this one. I
tell you what, the director of the first one did not like this.
I saw that. Yeah, I saw that. He said LeBron is no MJ.
He went in. He went all the way in. But he old and he directed the first one, so it's never going to be good enough for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just think it obviously it's doing what it's doing because my son loved it. So if it's connecting with who it's supposed to connect with,
right?
And my son is my 7-year-old son Jackson is a cartoon historian, man. Listen, he just went through this thing where he didn't research and learned all about Charles Schultz and the Peanut Gang and Charlie Brown. Now that doesn't even come on TV. He knows all about all of them characters. Wow. And all of their names of the kids that they kicked it with that I didn't even know. I didn't even know these people was a part of the Peanut Gang. He knows all of them. And so now Space Jam has turned him on to Looney Tunes. And now he's going through that. He's researching all of the old. He goes back and watches all of the old cartoons, the Bugs Bunny. Like he's learning all of that. And so he's artistic that way. So I just was like, oh man, I didn't think the movie was great or anything like that. Right. You know what I mean? But
kicked off some inspiration in him.
I haven't even gotten all the way through it. I'm like the old director from the first. He said it took him 5 times to watch it. I'm like, wow. Sir, you must have been interested somehow. You tried 5 times.
Yeah,
I fell asleep on it, so I haven't seen it from beginning to end, but I have seen some of the parts towards the end and the beginning, and I think it's cool. I mean, it's for kids.
It does the job that it's supposed to do, right? I saw a post that say something about the movies for kids, yet all these adults are critiquing it and all this stuff. Like, yeah, I kind of feel that. Like, I'm not going to sit up here and watch it and say, "Oh, that was a 2 out of 4 star movie." I'm not going to do that. It's a kids movie.
It's a kids
Let it be
movie.
What it's for.
And the movie made a lot of money.
Yeah.
And now they selling the merch. Kids, my kids want Toon Squad jerseys. You know what I mean? They got the Toon Squad sneakers out. Already they want me to pay $160 for some Toon Squad sneakers. It's working.
LeBron? Are they LeBron Toon Squads?
Yeah, but LeBron has some Toon Squads in adult size though. And I'm like, oh my God. Thanks, LeBron. You know what I mean? Make my kids want me to spend some more money. But it's cool. It's cool. If you have HBO Max, you had that, and he's on it, man. Looney Tunes. Wow. Old stuff. That's it. That's all I got. For
Michael Gibson is leading us right into perfect timing, because Michael Gibson has a question about these Browns and Jadeveon Clowney. So before we get to our GTFOH segment for this week, we got to cover some Browns news. I got to admit, I don't know a whole lot about what's going on in the Browns world. We do got some sound from OBJ that we'll run in just a minute. But what do you think about Michael's question here?
Michael's question. Hey, what effect do you guys think Clowney will have this year? It's hard to say, because Clowney
has a skeptical of Clowney.
No, I'm not skeptical about Clowney. I just think if he gives us what Olivier Vernon gave us, then he's gonna have a very positive. I think he'll have a positive effect on the defensive line. If people are thinking that Jadeveon Clowney's about to come here and go crazy, I just don't think that. But I think he's going to be a very useful piece on that defensive line. Remember, it's not just Jadeveon Clowney. We had McKinley come over. We had Takk McKinley is now a part of that line. And there's other players that are coming that didn't even play last year, like the ones that set out for COVID or opted out. And now they're coming back.
But don't you think that Clowney is the kind of player that could go crazy? Like, I'm holding out hope.
He's always supposed to have been. Well,
he's a former #1 overall pick. We all know the history, blah, blah, blah. We know he didn't do a whole lot last year in Tennessee, and we know that he's been injured this last handful of years. But him being a focal point of a defensive line, probably a predominant part of his career. Now he doesn't have to do that, because we all know Myles Garrett is that guy here. So Clowney should get more one-on-ones. He should have more opportunities to affect the game. And I know he's never really been that pass rusher dude. I think he does better against the run, right? Is that what I'm hearing? But we'll see. I think that he might have a chance to go crazy.
Jadeveon Clowney is an above average defensive tackle, defensive end, defensive lineman. So all I can say is, if you're going to have somebody who has that caliber of talent, it can only mean positive things for the rest of the people, because our guy is Myles Garrett. So I'm looking for Myles Garrett to go crazy. If anybody want to go crazy, getting the sack, leading,
he was
I want to see Myles do
it. Depoy before he got sick last year. So I think that we should see something like that in terms of his production.
Jadeveon Clowney, yes, he comes in with the reputation. He's always had that reputation, but he's never necessarily lived up to the reputation. But his reputation, his reputation is so far up here that you kind of overlook the quality of defensive player that he's been throughout his career. He's a quality guy, and he's going to give you quality minutes when he's out there on the field. So,
for the first time in his career, he's not going to be lined up against the best offensive lineman or a bunch of double teams that he's been seeing throughout his NFL career.
But he's never been the guy that you expected him to be,
Right.
being drafted number
I
one
give you that.
overall. His whole reputation was based on that one hit in college where he knocks the guy's helmet off or something happened. He blew the guy up as soon as he
Yeah.
get, and that
Yeah.
elevated him to the number one. And remember, it was some controversy. He didn't even play like a whole season or whatever, something before he came out. So he got paid off the hype. You know what I'm saying?
Dustin says, I don't want to forget this. Dustin says, don't forget about Curtis Weaver. Is that who you were thinking about? He'll kill it. Shout out to Dustin and shout out to Curtis Weaver.
Yes. Listen, we are stacked on defense, especially at the defensive line, the defensive front position. With
names, at least.
Yes. So
we'll see, though.
Man, listen, everybody is saying a bunch about what we're going to do on offense, but
speaking
the national,
of what we're going to do on offense, go ahead, finish your thought, dog. We got to bring this OBJ clip in here before I forget it.
Right, but I've been seeing them on the national. They're bringing up this question. What was the craziest question they had recently? Is Baker Mayfield the most important player in the NFL? This is Mike Greenberg on ESPN raising this question about Baker Mayfield, causing the conversation about Baker Mayfield. What I like about what Baker Mayfield is doing is he's just coming to work, man. You know what I'm saying? He ain't
all that chitter chat is over with.
He's not tripping about the contract. He knows that if we win, the things is going to get worked out. A lot of people try to get their thing worked out before they win. He wants to win first. And that's commendable for him. It's like some people just, you come in the league, it's like, I'm sure he's not hurting. He's not missing no bills. I'm sure he's able to do what he wants to do right now with the money they've been giving him. So I think that, he going to go out there, he going to ball. And I'm glad he's kind of not responding to any of this, because there's a lot of people that still don't believe in Baker Mayfield for some reason. They just do not, just because just like the reputation you said, Jadeveon Clowney being a number one overall pick. Baker is a number one overall pick, Heisman winning player coming into the league, but nobody gives him any respect for that. You know what I mean? But we'll keep on thinking a player like Jadeveon Clowney, who's been in the league for years and has never lived up to that, is going to do that just because he's going to be opposite. He was opposite J.J. Watt, and he didn't do that. So I'm just saying, I think he's a good defensive end, but he's not going to do what everybody.
After missing 40, 50 games, or not, I know it's not that many games, but he's missed a lot of time, had back surgery. Plus, this is, the last year he's been in the league, probably almost a decade. That ain't Myles Garrett. That ain't Myles Garrett. That ain't where Myles Garrett is in his career. Myles Garrett is poised to be the
Myles Garrett is the real Myles Garrett.
Absolutely.
Jadeveon Clowney wishes he was Myles Garrett. Let's put it like that. But I'm not putting them against each other. But by them both being drafted number one overall for basically the same type of reputation, Myles Garrett is really going to live up to that. Jadeveon Clowney is still a good player. I just don't think he's on Myles Garrett level. He's not an elite pass rusher like everybody tries to, make him out to be because of where he was drafted. He's not that.
So we talked about the defensive side of the ball. Let's talk about the offensive side of the ball just a little bit. I know you touched on Baker Mayfield, but it was Odell Beckham Jr. just good looking the other day who, inspired a couple of headlines. We could roll that clip of OBJ answering some questions from Mary Kay Cabot.
Special opportunity. I was down in Austin with Bake and seen him a few times since then, just kicking it, hanging out, and it's just something that feels special about this team, something that feels special. I watched them compete last year, and it was like the one game that hurt me the most is watching Kansas City and feeling like, man, I know that I could have made one play. I think that there's something special going on. There's something special with this city. Especially watching the Bucs win a championship, inspires you even more. It's like Cleveland needs a championship, and I think that's the goal. That's the mentality in that building, and that's what I want to be a part of.
I already know where you're going, which is why when I found this clip,
where you're going with this, which is why you brought this clip up.
When I found this clip, I was like, I laughed out loud, just like you just did, and I said, Haz is gonna have a field day with this. So what's that?
No, go ahead.
First of all, I'm a big OBJ fan. Okay, I'm a big Odell Beckham Jr. fan.
Cousin.
I feel like if he was on that field against the Chiefs a few months ago, we would have been getting ready to play for a chance to go to the Super Bowl. That's just how I feel. That's just how I feel. And obviously,
Yeah.
He
feels the same
feels
way.
the exact same way. So
Well,
I
if you don't-
appreciate getting Odell back, a hungry Odell back who had to sit and watch. Yo, everybody was mad at Odell because Baker was forcing footballs to him, throwing interceptions and costing us games early in the season last year. I'm glad that Odell had a chance to sit back and watch the offense operate and work successfully under the tutelage of the new head coach, who is a boss. And I think he will progress in terms of getting this team where it needs to be when it comes to play calling and things of that nature. But I completely agree with Odell Beckham Jr. If he was healthy on that field last year, and my brother going to kill me for this because he just rags on Odell never being healthy. If Odell was in that Chiefs game, we would have won that Chiefs game. And I think he feels the exact same way. And he's hungry to get back and have another opportunity at the end of this season. So to all of that, what do you say?
Damn. I didn't think he was ever going to stop talking. For one, sheesh.
I had to get it in, man.
That's why I was like, let me get my fingernails together while he's going on his little diatribe. Hey, listen. I am a Browns fan. How many times I got to tell you that? Like, I want everybody to ball out. But all this coulda, woulda, shoulda, if was a fifth, we'd all be drunk, right? So I'm just saying, it didn't happen, man. Odell Beckham, stay healthy. And then you can be in the games. And then you can make the plays. Stop getting hurt. And then you don't have to be coulda, woulda, shoulda. If I would have healthy, man. Get your body together. Be right. You know what I'm saying? And then we won't have to worry about the woulda, coulda, shouldas. We'll know that you did or didn't make the difference. You made or did not make the play. But I can't sit here and keep pulling my hairs out thinking about the Kansas City game over and over and over again just because Odell Beckham didn't play. Odell Beckham did not play the whole season.
Look at you ignoring all the other stuff that Odell said. Look at you skipping over the part that the first thing he said was that he feels like this team has a chance to do something special.
So the first
thing, one of the second things that he said was that Cleveland deserves a championship. Like, look at you nitpicking over the things that he said that is team friendly and team
I wasn't
first.
even speaking about what Odell said. I'm talking to you, Matty Wills. I'm talking to you.
Okay, that makes
sir.
sense. I'm not even mad at that.
Odell, I love Odell. I'm glad that he's about the team. I'm glad he got a chance to sit. Yes, all of that is great. That is what we expected because we knew that the chemistry was not there last year, and it was evident early on in the season, except for the Dallas game, that things were
when
a little
Odell
off track.
went off and won you the game damn near by himself. The boy went crazy. Come on,
Dallas sucks. Okay,
but you still
they have terrible defense.
Hey, three touchdowns is 3 touchdowns.
Man, it was an amazing day.
Chop it up.
I was in the building. If you don't remember,
damn, that's
I
crazy.
was there. Right? Remember? So listen. I want Odell Beckham to come back and ball out. I want Odell Beckham to be Odell Beckham for this team. And I want it to work out. But you got to just stop it, man. You pulled that clip just so you could just keep going back to this daggone Kansas City game. Okay? We're going to get a chance to see Odell Beckham going to play game 1, right? Against Kansas City, God willing. Nothing else happens. I'm knocking on wood that everybody's going to be healthy and ready to go when we open up against the Kansas City Chiefs, and we'll see. I mean, it's not going to get us a chance. It's not going to get us in the Super Bowl, but at least
not a week 1 victory, but it'll do a lot for morale.
Right, and
it would do a lot for morale.
You know what it also is going to do?
It's also not a must-win game either. It can't. It's not a must-win game. It's too high or too low. It's week 1.
I just want them to win. I just don't. I live out here in the ATL. I found out I have a neighbor directly across the street from me that is a Cleveland Brown fan.
Wow, and that's hilarious.
Yes, that's my neighbor Willis.
That's God for you, big
my
dog.
neighbor Willis is a Browns fan.
That's raw. That's raw though. Shout out to Willis. That's raw.
Willis, what do you think Willis looks like?
I don't know why you making me do this, dog. Willis.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't want to guess at what I think somebody looks like because I'm going to try to make it. I don't know. Just tell us.
His name is Willis.
Okay.
We've known the only person we know named Willis has been from Different Strokes, right? You know any other Willises?
Bruh, no. And I didn't even watch
Like,
Different Strokes.
Would you talk about Willis?
Yeah,
you talk
I
about
know.
Willis? You don't know that Willis?
Yeah, does he look like him?
No. He looks like the guy that adopted Willis.
Wow. Wow. All right. So listen.
More Philip Drummond than Willis.
I don't know who Philip Drummond is, but
what is wrong with you, man? You ain't that daggone young that you don't know Different Strokes.
I don't think I'm young at all, but growing up, I watched Fresh Prince and Martin. I didn't watch a
You've never heard the Different Strokes?
Yes, I've heard of the show, and yes,
I mean, people refer to it in rap music. I know you've heard these lyrics.
All right, man.
Where people refer to Philip Drummond.
Okay, listen, you got it, man. I don't know who Philip Drummond is. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Get the f out of here.
Right.
Dude, let's
I guess that means it's time.
Yeah, let's get that. You got that intro?
I do have the intro. Of course I have the intro. I'm back in full
effect,
mad
at me. Baby. I don't know who Philip Drummond is. What is going on? I'm gonna Google Philip Drummond.
Hold up, boy. That ain't the beginning. Here we go.
Get the f out of here. 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 Get the f. Get the f. Get the f. Get the f out of here.
I don't know who he is.
Yeah. Back in effect. My favorite part of the day. I'm gonna let you go first, Matt.
I have an honorary GTFOH, and then I'll get to my real GTFOH. My honorary GTFOH, Jamal, if you could run that video of PJ Tucker paying homage to Chris Bosh, is PJ Tucker. Now, I know he just won a world championship, but if you're going to celebrate, can you do it? Let it loop back. Let it loop back. Can we do it in a way? Listen, it's COVID. You splashing your germs everywhere. You see, Bosh, he was an absolute party foul up at the top. And Kevin Hart is just as confused as I am. But that's my first GTFOH. I can't even really give PJ Tucker the full GTFOH because he is coming off of a world championship. But I will say this.
Do you want to get it or no?
No. Kanye West gets my GTFOH.
Get the f out of here.
Because Kanye, and I'm down here sweating, Kanye, in the utmost typical Kanye West fashion, had the whole world just looking at their phones. I was just looking at my phone, bro, at midnight, going into when the album was supposed to drop out.
Right.
Was supposed to drop, Donda. And he didn't.
He had the listening party down here in Atlanta.
And I was working during the listening party, so I kept checking in. And in typical Kanye fashion, it was supposed to start at 8. I heard he started at like 9:30, whatever it was. I did hear some snippets of some of the music online. I'm a Kanye fan. I want my Kanye album. Don't have me sitting, like not going to bed looking at my phone, and then you don't drop the album, bro. So now they're saying August 6th. I even just read right before we went on, he's like locked himself in Mercedes-Benz Stadium, whatever that is, wherever he did the thing at, and down in Atlanta. He's like there putting the final touches on his album. I don't know how true that is because I didn't know they had a studio in there, but
yeah, I was in the studio with Kanye last night. We was working on it. Go ahead.
But yeah, no, Kanye gets my GTFOH because come on, man, drop the album, dog. I want the music. Drop the album. That's it.
So Kanye,
who you got?
Who I got? Well, right now, I want to give a great big
Get the f out of here.
to Team USA, man. Come on, man, with this garbage, man. Hot garbage. That y'all, what is going on? Popovich? Come on, man. Somebody Popovich. You know what I'm saying? These boys is playing. They are disgracing the USA name. You might as well go back to sending college players over there to play. If this is
for
this,
if this is what you're gonna do, yeah.
If this is what you're gonna do, man, you're embarrassed. It's like, can the NBA's image survive the USA NBA players getting beat convincingly in the thing? Because it's like your league ain't no better than my league. Why should I want to go to the NBA if this ain't the best league in the world? It can't be the best league in the world because when they go play the world, they get beat. And this ain't looking good. I'm just saying, man, y'all better step up. Y'all better get a medal. And it better be gold.
Who is the one player on that team that you think should just be willing us to victories? Because for me, that person is Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant is supposed to be, if you're gonna say that the best player in the NBA is not LeBron, 9 out of 10 people unofficially are going to say KD, right? He's on this team. He's supposed to be, the most complete, the most offensive, the most complete offensive skill set in the NBA in terms of size, athleticism, and all that, ability to shoot from wherever. He should be willing this team to victories, and he's not. At least he hasn't when the game started to count. So I agree, man. They need to GTFOH, especially if they lose the next game. They might as well just come home.
Get the out of here.
Yeah, man, Chris Paul, man.
Get
Come
the
on.
out of here.
Yes,
Oh, damn, Chris
Paul,
caught
giving
a
it to
drive-by.
Paul. Hey,
Chris caught a
Paul,
stray. He ain't
I
even
think
on the team.
Chris Paul, he need to. You know what he need to do. You know what Chris Paul needs to
What's
do.
that?
He need to call Jake from State Farm. Call Jake from State Farm
Team USA.
to be on his team next year. That'll give him a little insurance.
I think it's time to wrap this up, man.
Am I froze? Are we there? Okay.
Nah, I laughed.
Time to get on the body.
I don't know if they laughed, but I laughed, man. I got it. I got the connection there.
Yeah. So, until the next time, you know what I
For
mean?
sure.
We're going to be checking out the Browns as they start training camp on Tuesday. I think it is the 27th is when they start training camp. There's a Brown and Orange scrimmage coming up. I have some tickets if anybody is interested. Since I'm all the way down south, I may not be able to attend, but I will be back in town this weekend. I'm coming back to Cleveland because I'll be with Jazz and Jokes Ohio as they do a comedy show, live band, and a party. And I'm DJing and hosting. We got Michael Collier is going to be out there. It's at the LaPlace Event Center. And ZAK is doing the remote. So I said,
PJ wanted me to see if you can get here a little early so we can get in this kickball. What's going on with that, man? You're not coaching kickball this year? That's next Thursday, right? Guess we could talk about that off air.
No, it's coming up. Is this week coming up?
It's this Thursday, yeah.
No, I won't be.
All right.
I won't be able to do it. I'm sorry.
We'll do the best we can.
I'm out on the kickball. I could coach from FaceTime. Somebody put me on the FaceTime.
Don't be mad at me. I think I got a remote.
Man.
All right, man. Let's close this.
All right, well, peace. We gonna check y'all out next Sunday, 8:00. This has been Matt Sports. I'm Hazmat.
And I'm Eddie Wills.
See ya.